Okay, now once you've understood this, the tricky part is to find what to put here. To understand that, we'll get back to slides. There is this special diagram that I've made for you in order to find your audience and then find keywords that you can throw at Facebook. See, Facebook has a lot of data from a lot of sources, and Facebook, as I've told you before, doesn't just go on demographic targeting or keyword based targeting. It goes on persona targeting. To make someone's persona is an endless thing. You can just keep digging into information and never run out of it. So in order to find more and more interest, I have this this is diagram that's shown here. What you're going to do is find information related to all of these things that your audience has something to do with. So in order to find your audience, in order to find the interest, what you're going to do is you're going to I want you to go through this circle one by one and try to answer as many questions as you can about your audience here. What kind of online magazines does your audience read? What kind of communities they're part of? What field of study are they interested in? What tools do they use? What brands do they wear? It's very likely that people who are fond of Ferrero Rocher are also fond of Starbucks. So you got to find these correlations and you got to test them out. What kind of events do they attend? What kind of organizations do they work at? What kind of people who work at corporates are very different from people who might be working in industries or government jobs. So you got to find all of that information. What kind of fan pages? What kind of websites? What kind of job titles do they have? Chief executives might have a different lifestyle than a developer. What kind of stores do they visit? What kind of influencers do they follow? So dig this deep, find as much information about your audience as you can here, and then put it here. Now a little example of that, or example of how to find these triggers about your audience. There are two ways you can go about it. Number one, you can go to your Facebook Ads Manager and open Audience Insights. And I think I've shown this to you before. You can dig through Facebook's database and find a similar audience for yourself. Let's say United States. I'm gonna enter certain interest. I'm gonna change this to India. I'm gonna enter a certain interest. Let's say let me enter Scoop Hoop. And what is this thing gonna find me now? It's gonna find me more pages that people who read Scoop Whoop are interested in. What kind of health and wellness website they're a part of. Speaking Tree is not exactly a health and wellness website, but anyway, so you can find some triggers from here. This is how you can dive into Facebook's database. However, there is a very nice tool that I have that I want to recommend. It gives you 10 free searches initially. This tool is called SparkToro. It's a very new but very reputed tool. What you're gonna do here is you're gonna give it one of these informations. Okay, now for example's sake, what I'm doing is I am giving the initial point to SparkToro as audience who follows the social account of Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, if you don't know, is I think the best golfer ever born. So I've given Tiger Woods Instagram to SparkToro. Now SparkToro is going to find me people who follow the social account of Tiger Woods. What other social accounts do they follow? What websites do they visit? What podcasts do they listen to? What YouTube channels do they kind of tune into? And more audience insights. So okay, Ricky Fowler, Bubba Watson, I don't know if I pronounced it right, but so other social accounts will show up here. What kind of websites do these guys visit? Barstool Sports, I'm sure it's going to do something with golf, and Golf Digest obviously is going to do something with golf. So I'm getting these interests. Okay, if I had my audience or if I was selling something golf related, I would have gone this way. I would have chosen Tiger Woods or something to do with golf, something very famous to do with golf, dropped it on SparkToro and found more insights about what does this audience really do. They read Golf Digest. They are also interested in CB Sports, of course. What kind of podcast do they listen to? Digital Dash. What hidden gem websites? What is hidden gem websites? Hidden gem websites is websites that have a good engagement, solid number of visitors, but may not be mainstream yet. Okay, so kind of niche websites. YouTube channels, PGA Tour, of course, golf. Where do these guys stay mostly? They stay in Greater Boston, Greater Jersey, New York, Manchester. What kind of phrases are there in their bio? Golf, golfer, fanatic. Of course, it's all about golf. And this is not just it. You can dive deep into this and understand further about the websites they visit and all of these micro categories. I'm just telling you that this is a very, very solid tool, and it allows you 10 free queries. I've already exhausted one by searching Tiger Woods. Let's check out what Digital Dash podcast talks about. It talks about two experienced instructional tech coaches. Digital innovations, okay, interesting. Might not be the most accurate thing to golf, but okay. Then you gotta use your own due diligence. CBS Sports is a sports TV channel, and it talks about NBA, NFL, golf. So okay, fair enough. A good reference. Golf Digest obviously talks about golf. Barstool Sports, what do they sell? Do they sell something, or do they? What do they do? What do these guys do? Is this a blog? It's probably a blog. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you can come to SparkToro and find more and more evidence. Otherwise, what you can do is you can go back to the Advertising Fundamentals series and watch my episodes there, and I teach you how to uncover your audience, in the ideal client profile section. So yeah, this is how you can uncover insights, and you can add it here on the. You can add it. Where can you add it? You can add it here, where you're creating your ad. That's where you can add it. Yes, you can add it here. Let's resume the ad in the audience section. So let's try doing something around this. Let's say I want to target golfers in United States of America, United States. Okay, and I'm gonna write CBS Sports here. Okay, not employers. I don't want people who are employees of CBS Sports. I want something else. I want people who are interested in CBS Sports. Awesome. How many people? 29 million people. That's a big number. Now I also want people who are interested in Tiger Woods. Okay, perfect. Now this number comes down to 2.1 million people. Now these guys are likely to be more interested in golf than any random Tom, Dick and Harry living in the United States. Now if I want a more narrowed audience, what do I need? I need to go for Golf Digest, if we remember correctly. Golf Digest. Okay, perfect. Now we'll get a very narrowed set of audience. I don't know how. Okay, 1.5 million people, and these guys are bound to be very interested in golf because they follow Golf Digest, or they have some affinity towards Golf Digest. They have affinity towards Tiger Woods, and they also have affinity towards CBS Sports. So these guys are very likely to be my audience. But again, I cannot know until I run tests. I mean, obviously these guys are interested in golf, but will they be interested in my product? Whatever that could be, maybe golf t-shirts. So yeah, this is how you dig interests, and this is how you play with them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the deck. Now I want to talk to you about audiences that are not cold. Cold audiences, finding cold audiences is a lot of research work. What I suggest is you find all of these
all of these things about your cold audience by googling them or going on SparkToro. SparkToro can only find you limited things about what kind of content do they consume, which is a great give, to be honest, because on internet people leave more and more traces about them by consuming content. What do you do on internet? You're either creating something or consuming content. You mostly consume content on internet, so finding what they consume is a great way to target them. Apart from that, communities is a great way to target them. And then factors like field of study, tools they use, organizations they're a part of, they're not as great factors, hence SparkToro wouldn't help you find them either. But you can find this by googling stuff. You can Google what kind of jobs do golfers have in Arizona or something like that. It's just how well you play with Google, to be honest. So do that. Now I want to come to a set of audience that is not cold audience that is warm and hot. Who are these people? These people are people who've kind of engaged with your website in certain manner.